my God, it's been so long now.
What are you talking about?
Oh my God.
I've been living here for the past year.
Oh, that's right.
I just went out to get my laundry done.
I can hug you now.
It just felt like the right thing to do. We're sorry to tell you, but this is actually an intervention. How's it going? Oh, it's been so long. It's good to see you.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, I'm coming in for
Oh, you too.
I didn't even wear makeup.
We need to do fake
reactions.
Yeah.
We're all like, right on. Oh, you got the You're late. I had to stick to tradition. I'm hugging the cameraman. Shall we film?
Yeah.
Let's film, man. No.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yes. Well, look what the cat dragged in. And you are?
My name's Lloyd. Who are you?
Me? I'm Chaplin. And these are my associates, Wendy and Ike.
Hi.
So,
I'm confused. What's going on here?
well, that can only be explained loosely at best.
As flamboyant as possible.
And in song.
Okay, cut.
That's a cut!
That was
Fantastic!
awful.
I mean, awful.
Lloyd, I don't get what any of this is supposed to be.
Didn't you read the script? It's the next big smash hit, Humans.
Yeah, it's the first film about humans being humans for cats.
And produced by cats.
It'll break all box office records.
Assuming our director can tone down the weirdness.
Let me tell you something, Twinkle Toes. I directed Fritz the Cat. I knew Fritz the Cat. Fritz the Cat was a friend of mine. And let me tell you something. This ain't no Fritz the Cat.
Oh,
You're
come
turning this town back here.
How the hell did this happen?
Well, it is technically your fault.
Yeah, with that lawsuit from your No Pets Allowed sign.
I didn't know that was a hate crime now. They're still not showing up because it interrupts their naps.
I guess now we're at the mercy of our own cats.
I just assumed you knew that was all cat owners.
Tone down the weird stuff, Bakshi.
Yeah, make it like Rising Sun or The Trial of Billy Jack.
What the hell even are those movies? You know what? I quit. Amazingly, this is not strange enough for me. You McCarthy-loving crypto-fascist!
Oh no, were we gonna get another director?
Hey, we're producers. We know plenty of people lining up to have their visions destroyed.
Take 5, everybody, while we sort this out. I'm Chaplin.
Let's practice getting into character.
By doing nothing?
Yes. That felt forced.
I don't need a segue, do you?
I'm good.
Cats.
Released in 2019, the film adaptation of Cats took the world by storm, in the way a storm destroys people's lives and leaves few left to witness it.
Becoming an instant punchline after the teaser alone, people were fascinated at the awkward and even uncomfortable designs that looked vastly different from the stage show. It got destroyed by critics, audiences, and bombed fierce at the box office, making $75.5 million against a $95 million budget.
There was even an attempt to re-release the film with better technology, but unless the redesign looked like this, it wasn't gonna help much.
To understand, though, why these cats rub people the wrong way, on top of looking like they would literally rub you the wrong way, we have to understand the source material.
The Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, based on the poems of T.S. Eliot, started the phenomenon of the mega musical. Though it was released in 1981, it ran until 2000, making it one of the longest-running Broadway shows.
Yet ironically, if you were to ask many people today what they think of it, they might react like this. Cats wasn't seen as awful, but it was seen as pop fluff, the Broadway equivalent of a popcorn movie, which might be exactly what they had in mind.
With an extremely high-budgeted marketing campaign, Cats was advertised like a blockbuster movie. It wasn't a show, it was an experience. You couldn't forget about it. It was everywhere.
Everybody knew this image with the cat eyes. I even remember as a kid seeing a poster of it at the store next to the Batman poster. I always thought it was a movie or a band, but not a musical. You just didn't see something like that everywhere.
Today, this is how most Broadway shows do their marketing, so maybe you can blame them for simplified logos as well. That being said, the idea of making a movie on this both made too much sense and no sense.
What attracts a fan of Broadway is going to be different to what attracts a fan of film. It's like making a movie out of a game. You can technically do it, but you have to be aware people are going to be looking for a different experience.
Well, that's definitely what we got here.
With several attempts being scrapped in the past, including an anime one Spielberg was producing that, I won't lie, looked kinda cool. His production company still put money into the film, along with a production company that often worked with the Coen brothers. They attached Tom Hooper to direct after his success with Les Mis, and let's be honest, this looks exactly like a production of Cats if Steven Spielberg, the Coen brothers, and Tom Hooper all had a hand in making it.
But if the reaction to the Broadway musical was this, the reaction to the film version was...
So now that you have some context on what the film version could have been, let's jump into the horrific insanity of what it ultimately became.
So if you absolutely love Cats, we're sorry.
Let's take a look at your nightmares tonight. It opens in the neon version of that being original drug PSA where an old woman is abandoning her kitty in the gutter.
Ah, the triumphant cat homicide music.
I should point out, as much as the CG in this film gets crapped on, even by the actors,
nobody more than us understands the importance of good visual effects.
Fuck you too.
Compared to other movies where CG is used too much, it's really not that bad. Oh, it still looks terrifying, but I think that's more the design than the animation itself.
Combining human faces and the bodies with CG cat features would be like combining the meaning of life fish with the creature from Seaman. You wouldn't blame the animators, you'd blame the idea.
Yes, there's moments where it certainly doesn't blend well, but compare this to, say, Black Panther. The CGI here is awful, but you're distracted by the good story and characters that you don't notice as much. This apparently has story and characters, but it's hidden by the distracting weirdness of how odd these things look. For the amount of time, money, and quantity of effects required for each shot, I'm actually surprised it doesn't look worse.
Having seen it on the big screen before the quote changes, I'm still waiting for the butthole cut. I can tell you there's not that many differences. Either way, it still looks like a Freddy Krueger nightmare for a cat owner.
After not making a cats out of the bag joke,
we'll just have to replace the rest of the dialogue with cat puns.
We see a cat named Victoria, played by Francesca Hayward, who wonders how all these felines are somehow more scary than Cheetah was supposed to be.
When you fall on your hand, do you land on your feet?
Are your portions about half any cat that you meet?
Jellicle songs for jellicle cats. Jellicle songs for jellicle cats.
They sing about jellicle cats.
What are jellicles, you may ask?
A cat's privates when they're neutered.
No, it's a vague term for what every cat wants to be, and only someone in power can give them.
Sounds like they're private.
It's probably their privates. I'm not gonna lie, Disney's live-action remake of Oliver and Company is taking more liberties than I would have expected.
They sing about how awesome jellicles are as a cat named McCavity, played by Idris Elba as Johnny Depp from Into the Woods, watches while hatching a scheme.
What's your name?
Cat got your tongue?
Don't worry, this writer would do Rocket Man to show that he actually can do a musical.
One of the issues in translating this to a film is, in a show, you can sing and dance about who you are and then disappear. The singing and dancing live is enough, but here, it's an illusion of an illusion. It's not live, there's CG filters all over the actors to distract you from the dancing.
And even then, their wire work is very high school Peter Pan.
So you're constantly reminded that what you're watching isn't real. Movies work with this by having character and story be the main focus, but this film wanted to stay authentic to the original source.
And they succeeded! I can barely tell them apart!
I guess it wanted to have its own cinematic identity while being true to the original. They just chose the absolute wrong things to focus on.
Like Rebel Wilson cat spreading to all the kids dragged here by their parents because this is a PG movie.
She sits and sits and sits.
How can this be a PG movie when every minute looks like an orgy's about to break out?
And that's what makes a combi cat.
Oh.
This scene alone has its own Pornhub section.
All day she sits upon the stairs.
Oh, Heathcliff, no one should.
Yes, but now we know what Garfield would have been like if the Coen brothers directed it.
How about An American Tail if it was directed by David Lynch?
Dinner
and a show.
Ever drink absinthe while watching Tom and Jerry?
No, but I think I tripped balls watching Joe's Apartment. What do you think one of those cockroaches put on their resume? I played reason number 82, cats gave you vomit night terrors.
Don't get cocky!
Seeing how you were holding your tail earlier, that pun should be directed your way.
It's a little old-fashioned, don't you think?
Jason Derulo plays Rum Tug Tugger. All these names sound like gay Harry Potter pornos. Who describes himself as a curious cat?
All cats are curious cats.
Yeah, but this one seems really curious.
Let's dance!
Is that the Korova Milk Bar?
I don't see how there's any way it isn't.
Stop milking it!
Do you think this is Lloyd's Birth of a Nation?
I don't know. He doesn't offend easily.
We get a nasty bit of cat shaming, though, as a feline named Grisabella, played by Jennifer Hudson, is left out of the fun.
You see.
Whoa, didn't take her long to be the best thing in the movie.
To everyone's credit, nobody looks like they're half-assing it. I just don't know if anyone knew how the hell this was gonna turn out. It's like the actors in The Giant Claw giving the best performances they could, having no idea this is what they'd be reacting to. So what's her story?
She used to be the star of the windmill.
Then she went with McCavity.
No, she lives on the wasteland.
Well, I just feel like I experienced what's love got to do with it in 2 sentences.
Good evening, all.
Oh no, look what the cat dragged in.
Do they think none of us have ever read a popsicle stick?
As is custom, whenever an annoying British man is in a movie musical, James Corden is contractually obligated to play him.
No commonplace mouses have such well-cut trousers or such an impeccable back.
I really like this scene where it's almost like he forgets what the hell everybody is supposed to be.
So let's gather up a few more of the cats.
I think that's what we're supposed to be, though Drunken Navi isn't off the table either.
Biggest letdown in the movie? Not the jokes, not the effects, not the misunderstanding of the source material, but that we never get to see what a dog looks like in this universe.
Hey, doggy, fetch!
I would literally neuter myself if it meant seeing what that looked like.
Agreed, it is one of cinema's biggest letdowns. Here's some possibilities, though. Little do they know that McCavity is kidnapping a bunch of them so that they can't be chosen to be the Jellicle Cat.
I'm determined to win, and I prefer my competition chained up. Meow!
I don't think there's anything we can add to make that funnier.
They're approached by the decider of who will be the Jellicle Cat, Old Deuteronomy, played by Judi Dench.
From where the most deserving cat will be reborn into another life.
So they can be who they've always dreamed of being.
I dream of being someone who will have a career after this.
She can't perform miracles. If I were king
of the forest.
I believe it's his own Deuteronomy.
Everyone is in awe of her presence. Why, even Ian McKellen is reminded of the time Patrick Stewart wore the exact same coat to get his attention.
Jellicle cats come out tonight. Jellicle cats come one, come all.
You'll find the scariest parts of the movie are just when Judi Dench looks right at the camera. It's like when Christopher Walken does it on Saturday Night Live, except you don't laugh, you feel a small part of you disappear.
The Jellicle moon is shining bright. Jellicles come to the Jellicle ball.
Okay, back on set.
Speaking of scary shoots.
We realized that all this weirdness was a problem on a script level.
That's right, so we fired the original writers on the film.
They always said getting a job would change things.
Yet somehow, I feel worse than I did before.
To never trying again?
Now we got a new writer and a more grounded director. Isn't that right, Mr. Snyder?
Oh, that's right, Cats. I please people about 40% of the time, but it's a potent 40%.
All right, then, carry on.
And action!
How about we show you our strange and unusual ways by dropping some dated references?
Wait, what?
Oh, we rapping now?
No.
Please welcome Notorious C.A.T.
Yo, Catitude's in the house.
Cut!
That's a cut! What? What's wrong?
Are we really doing this?
I have to agree, Cats. This feels kind of childish.
Of course it is. We're pandering to the young demographic.
So we got somebody young to write it.
Oh my god, guys! I just saw Space Jam: A New Legacy! The rapping pig is the coolest thing my undeveloped mind has ever seen!
I don't want to pander, though. I hate playing it safe.
Oh, come on. Make it like the classics. The Four Seasons, I Love You Man, and Hooper.
What the hell even are those movies? I quit! I'm not even doing a Snyder cut of this.
Good job, Buster. You're fired.
Hooray!
Find another writer and director.
Great, you do that. We're gonna be like real actors and get high on set.
There's some catnip under my desk.
You have a desk?
Can I stay with one of you two? I was only created just for the sketch.
Oh, 'cause...
Go inside the theater where old Deuteronomy will decide who will be the Jellicle cat.
They do all of their horny dances, hoping to impress her and get chosen. And then they banged!
Victoria notices Grisabella outside, and because this will no doubt get tons of Oscar nods, why not throw in one for Best Original Song?
Should I take chances when no one took chances?
Did it get nominated?
No!
Next.
Come back in! We're just about to do the Caligula fisting!
Hey look, an Academy Award nominee leaking out of a milk bowl.
Again, I'm pretty sure he does that at Patrick Stewart's house.
I'm a tremendous fan of your work.
What's your name?
Mr. Mistopheles.
Oh, is there a Mr. Mistopheles?
To McKellen's credit, he does give one of the few legitimately emotional scenes. I don't know what bizarre life this character lived, but it looks like he made it count.
I have acted with Irving. I've acted with Tree.
Oh, just past a kidney stone.
I'd be honored if you never did that again.
Could I trouble you for an autograph, sir?
After his performance, McCavity approaches to kidnap him.
McCavity!
Is that his catchphrase now?
McCavity!
Do you want to get McCavity too? Like and subscribe.
Oh good, the strippers arrived.
And I'd saunter to the rear. I'd been busy in the luggage van.
Trust me, we know.
Sadly, those CG tracks belong to the Polar Express.
I will watch you without winking.
He vanishes as well, and McCavity's laugh fills the theater.
Did I not instruct that box 5 was to be kept emptied?
McCavity's a mystery cat.
They're interrupted by Tomcat Swift, who builds up McCavity by sprinkling catnip on the crowd.
I think that's the same way they tried to win over Oscar voters.
McCavity, McCavity, there's no one like McCavity.
Sorry, movie, despite your best efforts, I cannot jerk off to this.
Well, we could try.
Of course we'll try. I mean, obviously, yeah.
McCavity, McCavity, there's no one like McCavity.
So this is what Sylvester saw when he went through withdrawal in Birds Anonymous.
McCavity wasn't there.
Well, glad to see Rachel Dratch is still getting work.
Like a snake.
After exploiting her kitty titties, McCavity says he can sex things up even more.
McCavity, McCavity.
This is the most graphic PG ever.
I'm not gonna lie, I love that parents took their kids to this because now they have to develop with this imagery in their head somewhere. I can't wait to see how messed up the next generation's gonna be. I just dropped in to see what new fetish this movie would begin.
You're a cheat, McCavity.
When it looks like old Deuteronomy won't choose him, he McCavities her away to his ship, because cats have ships.
I demand that you grant me another life.
Don't make me scratch your belly. I know cats hate that.
You're a magician.
Not knowing what to do, one cat recommends using the magic of Mr. Mistopheles.
Really? I can't.
You could try.
You have the magic laser pointer. You're like a god.
They all sing a song inspiring him, and he eventually uses his magic to bring her back.
Magical Mr. Mistopheles.
Just kidding. McCavity! No, his magic does work, so naturally, saving her life, he should be chosen to be the Jellicle Cat. Wait, this one complained the loudest. We better reward her.
The story of Twitter.
Turn your face to the moon.
Thus we begin. We can Anne Hathaway this again, right?
Hudson does a great job as always, but it's very clear they're trying to recreate Hathaway's Oscar moment from Les Mis.
And I'm sorry, but that gritty handheld style that felt so intimate doesn't work when you look like Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat posing as the Quick Bunny.
You are the Jellicle choice.
Well, that's good to know, because I'm actually McCavity!
Will you stop that?
I'm sorry, it's just so funny.
She's put into a balloon and sent off to be reborn. So ends the story about a cult that practices human sacrifice.
With cats, some say one rule is true.
Is she looking into our soul?
She's getting ready to pounce, bro.
Yep, Judi Dench breaks the fourth wall, and like I said, for all the creepiness in this movie, this for some reason is the scariest part.
It's presented as a magically whimsical moment, but it honestly feels like a deleted scene from Zardoz.
But how would you address?
Even this guy is like, dude, none of this is in the script. She's gone off her meds.
And say a cat is not a dog.
Lady, you are making Carrie Fisher's speech on Life Day look cohesive.
Even the lion they're on is like, get this bitch off me, she's gonna shit on my head, I swear. This cat is still looking at her, swearing she's gonna shank everyone in a minute.
I believe you truly are a Jellicle cat.
And if that doesn't scar you for life, I don't know what will.
All right, everyone, places. Joy.
I just want to be sure I'm capturing your voice, Wendy. Does this sound right? Meow, meow, meow. If you're doing the cat equivalent of Mickey Rooney from Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Hey, Ike, how does this sound?
Meow. Oh, yeah. You got it, baby.
It's all in the accent.
All right, let's get this over with. So who's the writer and director this time?
That'd be me, Marielle Heller.
The mother from Queen's Gambit?
Yes, but I'm also an award-winning writer and director.
Really? the mother from Queen's Gambit.
I directed A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Anyway, they tell me they want something more normal, so we're going to play down the— Are you IMDb'ing me?
It's so random, it has to be true.
That's exactly why it would be made up.
Screw it! Everyone just knows me from Queen's Gambit! I quit!
Huh, she also directed Diary of a Teenage Girl.
That's an underrated movie, man. Not enough people talk about it.
Fear not, we got 2 new talents on the phone ready to go.
The chart says we need to prequel something.
Can you de-villainize a villain?
Okay, stop. What is it you guys want?
Something that's the exact opposite of the movie Cats.
Okay, but why?
Because it bombed. We want to produce something that'll make money.
Yeah, like Convoy, Conspiracy Theory, The Toy, Wild Hogs, Bringing Down the House.
What are these movies?
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of any of them.
Isn't it obvious? They're all movies that were #1 at the box office.
All of them?
Yeah, they played it safe and won audiences over.
The exact opposite of what Cats did. Now take 5, everyone, while we sort out our new script.
In many ways, the work of a critic is easy. We risk very little, yet enjoy a position over those who offer up their work and themselves to our judgment.
We thrive on negative criticism, which is fun to write and to watch, but there are times when a critic truly risks something, and that is the discovery and defense of the new. The god-awful new.
We celebrate new ideas and gambles when they work, and rip them apart when they don't. But in both cases, someone is still taking a great risk. It's important to discuss why one risk works and why another doesn't, but discrediting an experimental failure is almost as bad as ignoring an experimental success.
The fact is, there is nothing like the movie Cats, with its bizarre look, insane writing, and baffling interpretation of a successful property. It is an experience that can never be forgotten. It's practically a send-up of the coked-out musicals of the 70s, when anything and everything was tried out simply because they could.
Though misguided, there is no question the ambition that went into this movie. When thinking over all the films that have made money in the past but have been forgotten over time, it makes me realize I will never forget this crazy-ass experience. With more and more people discovering it, similar to how other hilariously bizarre cult films have been discovered, it shows me there can be more to enjoy with a phenomenal misfire than an adequate success.
I'd much rather watch a train wreck that's passionately incompetent than serviceable mush that's forgettably passable. In the grand scheme of things, this average piece of junk is probably more meaningful than our criticism designates it so.
It has scarred me to my core, the same way being chased by a dangerous animal has, leaving me shaken, but thankful I lived to tell such a strange tale.
So when thinking about how weird, uncomfortable, or downright hilarious this film is, remember that the memorable risks taken to bring you something that doesn't work are not too far off from the memorable risks that bring you something that does.
Though there are many films I struggle to remember, I know Cats is an experience I will be returning to soon. Hungry for more.
I never thought of looking at movies that way.
I think there's only one logical step to take.
Agreed.
I'm Wendy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Lloyd.
I'm Chaplin, and we are
Humans!
I may have gotten too pretentious. Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. Have some catnip.
McCavity!